Yeah, hello there. It's been, oh, geez, quite a long time. It's been a bit complicated. Haven't gone, despite the fact that I count on. What is wrong with me? Oh, hoping I can. Let me just make sure I'm updated on this, which is basically the Jack and Daxter decompiled and natively ported to PC. They recently allowed me to load up my original Jack 3 game for Jack 3. So it's in beta, and there's already a few mods for it, one of which is Daxter 2/3. Not sure what that means. Like, finally gets a sequel, threequel. I'm not sure what that implies, but something. And there's all tons of mods for first Jack and Daxter game. One of which I actually tried out recently, which I think is called Cratopia, which is supposed to be like a Tetris type game for Jack and Daxter. And I mean, I guess I could try to load it up, and I don't know. I don't have a PS5 controller just because I sold my PS5 system a while back because I haven't really been using it. I just only used it for like watch one movie and play a couple of games. That's a block game inside Jack and Daxter, but I won't mention that. It's like, oh, it's like Tetris. Let me get into that real quick. All right, so probably won't hear the audio because I don't have it set up for it immediately. But that's not the point. So it's basically Tetris, but one of my biggest issues is that you don't get some sort of grid type layer in the background to give you an indication of where or actually some sort of like shadow input to let you know where your crates are actually going. Like in many Tetris type games, or even Tetris itself. So you just have to take a guess of where it's at, and background animation, while that's nice on its own merit, doesn't really help ease the situation. I'm not a fan of the flickering of the font there. I don't know if that's like aesthetic choice by the modder of this game, but I don't know. I'm just not a fan of the flickering. It just makes it look a bit too unfinished, though. I'm not trying to criticize it. But it's just like with many art Tetris games, it's like I want an indicator where my piece is going. See, I'm doing a great job so far, well, except for that, but that, and it does transition to different levels, background levels, higher the level difficulty for, depending on how much rows you complete, which is pretty natural. All the common mechanics for makes a Tetris, except you can't swap out some others. I would really prefer that's the but hey, that's the gist of it. I haven't tried out all the other mods yet, though. I really want to do so. Grateful Forest. I'm not trying to criticize you or anything like that, but I just feel there's like some more refinements you can do regarding like adding a shadow project, so where your pieces are actually falling. But and I'm not a fan of like the flickering of the. I just want to check to see that was Demu. That's the Xbox OG Xbox emulator, and for some reason, this has not received like an update in like over a month. Really annoying. Compared to something like PCSX2, where you get updates for this practically almost every day. So I just updated this like half an hour ago, and look at that, it has a new update already for hotkeys. Check if the memory card is busy before resetting. So yeah, it's just like what it says. It's just practically every day. It's like, oh, I had the new version Tuesday, April 20th, but it's not even Tuesday yet. Somewhere. I think I just updated RP half hour ago, and look, it has another update. Wow. Am I a lucky SOB or what? Oh, I picked up the Zero Sugar Snapple. Not bad. Better than the Zero Sugar ranch that I tried some time ago. Yeah, you see, I got some games. Afterburner X, Dragon Ball Z Budokai HD Collection, which someone did actually do a 360 recompilation of it not long ago. So that begs the question: will there ever be like a recompilation to PlayStation? Yes, but it's not going to be an easy trip. For the most part, all of these games are burned from my original copies I had before I sold them off, like Dragon Ball Z Budokai HD, God of War Collection, Heavenly Sword, Ico and Shadow of Colossus, Prince of Persia, Resistance, Downpour, Fly Collection. There's a Wolverine, Eternal Sonata, and Ascension. I can't pronounce that right. God of War 3, though that's part of the God of War Saga disc I had. You have Infamous 1 and 2, and Guns of the Patriots, which is actually getting a PC port, which I imagine is going to be the PlayStation 3 version with just like some upscaling. So That's kind of sucked. And of course, you got Mortal Kombat Complete Edition. You got Ratchet and Clank, Crack in Time, Into the Nexus, Quest for Booty. Now, I didn't have a physical copy of the game because in order to get a physical copy, it has to be the... What the... Who did that? Is there some sort of music playing? Oh, if I hover over this, then it will... But that doesn't make any sense. If I'm hovering it, there's nothing playing. Like, what the hell's going on? A slide collection. Oh, now I see something playing there with the slide collection right there. That's interesting. So not all of it has that. Not a... What about Infamous? Has that, yep. Patriots? Of course it does, why wouldn't it? Yeah, I never noticed that. Though they did implement sound effects recently where you can implement your own sound effects. I did do that. Where I basically took like a sound effects from like Kingdom Hearts, like a menu. Cursor, accept, cancel, then dialogue pop up, error, and trophy. And for the longest time, I don't know how I could do that. I could get them to use properly around here, but like you can't hear the sound effects there. So I'm thinking, do I have to load into the XMB to do that? But no, of course not. Okay. Wasted enough time on that. Then you have the PPSSPP, which is the emulator for the PSP. And no, I am not going to get the gold version. I only have one game, Dark Siphon Filter Dark Mirror. Which surprisingly is the more violent version compared to the PS2 version. Then you have Shiploader, which is like hey. Oh, okay. Hold on. Okay. I thought something randomly disconnected. But yeah, this Shiploader is a mod manager for some of the PC ports of games such as Ocarina of Time, Majora's Mask, Star Fox 64, Mario Kart 64, and Super Mario 64, which I have right here as Co-op DX. So if I look over in Ship Harkinian, Ocarina of Time, it loads up the mods. Come on. Oh, for God's sakes, don't say not responding. You are too. Oh, fuck you. Oh, there you go. Now you set the ship, sailed the ship. It'll bring up like mods from like Game Banana from the website, like such as Game Banana, all that. Come on. Stop waiting at 95 and get to the 100, damn it. God, you're taking forever. Checking for updates, like 200, loaded 239 mods. Jesus Christ. And I haven't even played through the game yet. Oh, here we go, finally. Yeah, game. Yeah, from Game Banana. You have music packs. Then you have the reloaded texture pack. Yeah, that's all well and good. Close out of it. You. Oh yeah, I still have Super Mario 3D All Stars Deluxe, which has Super Mario 64. What else is that? Super Mario Sunshine and oh geez, what was the last? It'll probably show me here. Oh yeah, Super Mario 3D Land. So screen Nintendo. And speaking of that, someone actually came out with a more recent like compilation, which the All Star Super Deluxe PC. Super Mario 64 DS, Eclipse, 3D World plus Bowser's Fury, and Odyssey. And speaking of such, before we get started with some ejections, let me go to Eden to see if I'm due for an update. Now, annoyingly, for whatever reason, this does not have the like you would think in the options be the help menu give you the choice to update, but nope, it doesn't do that. You actually have to go to the GitHub to get the file and then copy and paste it over the original files. So let's see if there's any update. Nope, and despite like the alleged like cease and desist, DMCA cease and desist coming from Nintendo, this is still up. Unlike Citron, which I was using for a while, but because of some internal like bullshit going on with developers and such, and some like getting sick of the this. And so this is very reliable since Citron is no more. It has been for like a few months now. But I think it's still at the same version, 0.20 version it's been at before. Yeah, it's 0.20 first. Yeah, been like that. Well, nice that I can play Metro Prime 4 Beyond if I want to. And yes, I did get a physical copy of it because my oldest brother is still gullible enough to buy more Nintendo games, and I'm able to use that to my mix. I think it was called not a Switch 2 emulator, though. Never say never. But yeah, that'll be another thing for another time. And what else did I come? Oh yeah, one more thing to show before we get into the ejections. Getting upon something I never thought would happen. The Medal of Honor Retro Remake was done recently, like a couple of months ago. I'm actually quite enjoying it so far. Well, mostly just like finding like things that could be ironed out for like issues and such for like feedback. Because I'm stuck on this one level where there's kill boxes and such that I just can't get through in the forest for the life of me. It sucks. I hate it. But I have played the original Medal of Honor on PS1 via DuckStation. In fact, oh my god, I'm getting so damn distracted. Watch some baseballs. Okay. There's no like updates to it, but I have included a couple new ones, such as the Beavis and Butthead Do Hollywood prototype, which I've tried and it's quite janky. Got all these other games. Yada Pepsi Man, and Adventures of Tron Boone. Which, fun fact, you can actually get the source code for this game right now because it was leaked. There's that. And yes, most of these games, like, I did find ROMs elsewhere because I am not spending $200 plus dollars just to get one game. Like, for example, where's a good example of that? Oh, I know somewhere. Ugh. Oh yeah, Rhapsody, musical adventure. It's like $200 plus dollars just to get that game, and I am not wasting that much money just to get one game. And you know what? If it's there, I will get it. So, yeah, yeah. Anyways, not sure why I have Resident Evil 3 Nemesis on my deck station, despite the fact that I have that game both for the PC for a Source Next, as well as a legit copy from GOG, which I highly recommend you get that along with the other two Resident Evil original trilogy on GOG. Because if you go for the ones on Steam, it's not DRM free. It has the infamous Enigma protector. I don't know why they would put that Enigma on that games as old as that, but considering that they allowed it to be DRM free on GOG, so just go for the GOG version. So anyways, let's get back to what I was doing from previously. Oh, let's go for approval rating. Wow, not that good. Page of Our Lives and Melrose Places. I've never heard of that. I'm sorry for us, him, wherever he was. So let's go for MLB. Let's find a play. Now, I'm not going to continue this yet because I think we're around 2010 last time we looked at this. But I want to look at something different for a rejection. So, with this one by Green Day Rock. Hey, I still like listening when it's not opera rock shit. So, we'll start off with Lou Piniella. I haven't watched these videos for like more than a year. So I can't remember how hilarious they are. No, Lou Piniella is quite famous for his ejection. And I'm hoping the audio catches.
It got away. No, he was thrown at him. In fact, it wasn't even a good inside pitch. No. We have it again. That was a bad pitch.
Kaiser is definitely right.
Yeah,
in what he's doing.
And Pinella's wrong.
Pinella can get really incensed by a lot of things.
Before him, I mean, he had pretty good control, and if he gets inside, he threw behind him.
Behind him is the worst. Fastball and a chopper to short. Velarde down to second to Meacham. Back to Mattingly. The run is over, and Piniella is going to be all over Coble.
Of course he is. Yep, there he goes. So you know, arguments wouldn't last that long in today's time, but back then it was just crazy.
The argument.
Guess who's up? Todd Benziger once again. He doubles.
Yeah, I should note that some of these like archive videos, they probably long lost the original broadcaster voice of games or the audio itself. So they're gonna have like these like flashback moments and such, like on SportsCenter, ESPN, and such. So just bear with that.
To the right field corner, Paul O'Neill comes in to score the tying run. That ties the game up at 6-all. Eric Davis, trying to score all the way from first base, is thrown out at the plate. First he's called safe, but Mike Scioscia has blocked the plate successfully. Eric Davis, with what would have been the winning run, is called out. The game goes into extra innings. Cincinnati Reds manager Lou Piniella goes berserk. He's eventually ejected from the game. The Reds would protest this game because of the call on this play. We're going to...
Did he get him? Yes. He got him on the arm. Braggs says nothing. Bases are loaded. Pinella's screaming out at Crawford. Crawford screaming.
Oh, Crawford's not liking him. Not that. Get out of here.
Pinella's out of the game.
Yeah, Crawford can get pretty confrontational as well.
Sweet Lou is not so sweet, and watch out, he's getting close to Martinez.
A little bit unhappy as he will come out, lose his gum there. He was ejected from the game by Jim Quick after arguing with him from...
Yeah, Jim Quick, he was the chief umpire for the game, for the Dodgers game that ended in a forfeit. He was the one that made that forfeit call. Just to let you know. But there is a video like showing off Tommy Lasorda, who was the manager for the Dodgers at the time in the 90s. While I'm at this, let me just...
The dugout.
let me get my chat. Pop out my chat so that I can see it on my other screen. All right, Lou.
And somehow got into another conversation with Bob Davidson.
Oh boy, Bob Davidson.
Pursue that conversation, which then became
Bob
heated.
Davidson. Such a hothead.
And after some choice words were exchanged, Davidson threw Piniella out of the game. You'll see that coming up
there he
right
goes.
here.
Look at
The
go.
Expos failed to score that inning, so the score was still 1-0 Reds. The Reds are now working with Jackie Moore as manager as Piniella has been ejected. As you see, this argument continued for a while with John McSherry trying to break it up.
Double play. Contos 5 2/3, no hit as well. But in the 7th, Lou Piniella bit miffed.
So it's also strange that you'll also find like the original and broadcasts of their voiceovers for games. Yet, I think in some like highlights and such, they'll have like different people commenting. So it's always a bit jarring. But you know what? Whatever. It was SportsCenter, ESPN, thousands and such.
And umpire Dale Scott strike zone. Lou never really
He's
shy,
covering the
gets
base.
six-sided, kicks dirt all over the place. And how about the umps taking it all in, saying, you know, he could be a little more animated if he tried. Eventually, Lou got booed.
Discussion. Next inning, Gordon gets the strike called. This time, Andy Sheets doesn't agree, and here comes Sweet Lou. You know, Luke Piniella can argue with the best of them. He can gesture.
Oh, look, he's doing that because that
can spit.
His umpire's as tall as
He can
him.
spit with the best of them, and then spit some more. But you know what? All that got, Lou, an early shower. Bottom of the
He
fifth.
might be slightly taller.
I have a feeling is that he's talking about the home plate umpire of squeezing the strike zone and getting it down so small that it's tough for this kid to throw a strike. Dale Ford out there as well. Well, if Voltaggio didn't know what flavor gum Lou was chewing, he knows now. He came out there like a charging bull.
That's putting it politely.
Bottom four scoreless. Ken Griffey Jr. in second. Edgar Martinez breaking
Griffey
off
Jr.
his 23rd home
Would have
run of the
been.
year. But does
If
he?
it wasn't
You
for
saw
that
the spot
fan
channel?
interference.
You saw the fan reaching over the railing for the ball that negated
Yeah, I
a
saw
two-run
that.
homer. It would have been his 23rd. Instead, Martinez gets his 48th double of the year. It's a ground rule double, and Lou Piniella just blows his top. He's livid. Lou Piniella came out to try and calm him down. Then Lou started arguing balls and strikes with home plate ump Daryl Cousins. Cousins throws Piniella out, and Lou goes absolutely ballistic. You've seen managers kick dirt, haven't you, Rich? Yeah. This is kicking dirt to an all-time level. There's one. There's two. I don't know if he's a field goal kicker,
Four,
a soccer player, a groundskeeper.
five,
Lou kicked dirt
6,
like for about 3
7,
or 4 minutes.
8.
You think we're laughing? You ought to see his own team, Griffey and Buter, in the outfield coach.
After a close play at third, Lou Piniella had enough of Al Clark on the day.
Al Clark. Oh my God, you son of a bitch! Look at that reaction on Lou. Yeah, he's-
Play at third.
That reaction on Lou is just great. You son of a bitch!
But he thought about doing his trademark toss of the bag. Instead, he just dirtied it up a bit and took off.
Juice Bob Wells pitching to Jeff Fry, base hit. Will Cordero come on
Hey,
down?
my boss, the Red Sox guys.
To come on down, and he is called safe.
Yay!
Dan Wilson says O'Leary missed home, and Lou Piniella says as well, but at least he's got the courtesy to remove his gun before screaming at John Hirschbeck, who knows a thing or two about being on the receiving end of expectoration.
Seattle trying to come back again, but it is the giant pin. Look at the good pick there by Rich Aurelia.
Yeah, if you see someone like Luke coming out of his dugout, that's never a good sign for the umpires.
He's unleashing some pent-up hostility against Sam Holbrook, the umpire. Here comes Lou Piniella to join in the fray. Joey got ejected, but Lou's not soon to follow. There he is. Could have been in some good loose dirt there.
2 Indians, 5-3 Indians, top 9. Runner on the grounder. Russ Davis tries to avoid the tag. He is ruled out, so they say double play. Say Davis came out of the baseline. Lou Piniella says, come on. This season has been the season from you-know-what. You're going to call a little itsy-bitsy call like that on me. You've got to be kidding me, Larry Barnett. He disagrees. Larry Barnett, very casually, without making a lot of fanfare, just kind of gave one of those, like, you're pointing out something across the street, threw him out. Just said, Lou, you're out of here.
He didn't know that.
Okay? Lou was trying to say, look, he stayed on the way and never got tagged. Should be safe at second, should not be a double play. Well, Lou complained, and then finally realized, I got thrown out. I was being calm. I got thrown out. Larry Barnett, you got to be kidding me. And then Lou Pinella,
Larry Barnett, what the hell's wrong with you?
NFL rosters have been cut down to 60. Understanding that there's the chance for some kicking spots to open up after a last poor weekend.
Why, Larry? You knew this was going to happen.
He lost the lid and then blew up. There you go.
He didn't kick that.
I can kick it better than John Hall. Better than Brett Conway. I can kick it.
Brett Conway, too.
I thought in the newsroom, Junior even had a laugh. He tried to hide it, but we caught him. I had a laugh. In the newsroom, I bet a milkshake that he would take second base and throw it. We've seen Lou do that.
A milkshake,
he did not
really?
do that, but he kicked the hat. He has not kicked the habit of kicking the hat. We feel your pain. And then after he threw the hat in the stands, it got thrown back at him.
What?
Ibanez appears to have scored a run, but hold on. Twins appeal the tag up at third, and Jerwood Merrill says he left too early. Lou Pinella is given the heave-ho, and this is classic Lou Pinella. Watch it again. Ibanez appears to leave on time. Pinella may have a case. But
it doesn't matter. He's going to toss it. Here's some bats.
Ladies and gentlemen, there goes the bats. But, hey, Lou, you won.
Yes, and what is he complaining about?
And Paul Abbott walks Tino to force in a run. That was close. Jeter scores to make it 5-zip. And Lou is really mad. And he comes out.
Of course he's mad.
They give it the home plate up to Ted Barrett. And give it to him, and give it to him, and give it to him. Pinella, yeah, you might gather.
Claire barely holding him back.
Interesting. Carlos Baerga, the steal. Baerga, the elusive slide to avoid the tag
of
A-Rod.
Safe.
He is
What?
safe. Look at Lou Pinella. He's exploding literally at elusive slide to avoid
Yo,
the tag of
why?
A-Rod.
He's out. Look at Lou just going out of the tug. Yeah, he's out. Why is he safe?
Kind of interesting. Carlos Baerga, the steal.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, he's out. Why is he safe?
The elusive slide to avoid the tag of A-Rod.
What?
He is called safe.
And he comes out.
He's exploding literally out of the dug.
Literally out of the dug.
Interesting.
He may have tripped over something.
Baerga, the elusive slide to avoid the tag of
He
A-Rod.
has
He is called safe.
He's tripped.
He's exploding literally out of the dugout. Pinella hates the call, points to the second base umpire Bill Welke that Baerga slid out of the base. Then he kicks him after he was ejected. And then Lou, after he's done kicking, he decides to reenact the Baerga slide. Nicely done. Does sweet Lou have a gripe? Take another look. Baerga sliding wide of the bag, avoiding Alex Rodriguez's tag, and then reaches the bag. It's really a tough judgment call. Looks like it could have gone either way.
Facing David Bell, and Bell tries to check his swing, thinks it's ball 4, but the first base umpire, Travis Katzenmeyer, calls him out, and here comes Lou. Katzenmeyer, in relation to Andy, not even pronounced the same way except for me.
Debbie Cruz, that's a strike. Lou Pinella says something from the dugout. Says, Lou, why don't you just go away? Yeah, here we go.
Get out of here.
And you can't do that to Lou because he's got kind of a fiery temper, so they start discussing if Rhode Island is either a road or an island.
He does again, kicks away. Pagan toward third, the throw. Got him.
Oh, no.
The ball hit the dirt, but on the bounce, Escobar able to get it. He
Here comes
applies
Lou.
the tag. Pagan and Mike Quaddy arguing, and here's Lou. This could be
That's pass, but Andy's gone.
First ejection as a Cubs manager for Lou Pinella, and he is really letting Mark Wegner have it. Just kicked dirt on him.
Kick.
Get him to chase.
Right back off the.
Take your time.
Come on. Okay. I might experience a bit of like a issue with the mic dropping out somehow.
Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. And here
Wait, what?
Right back off the.
Take your time.
Glove of Vasquez. He'll fire, and he's got it.
What? Oh.
And Wells is upset.
Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy.
Yeah, Lou doesn't like that at all.
Lou Pinella. Wow.
Yeah, it's like this.
And Lou is hot.
God. No son of a bitch.
He is gone.
Yeah, it's like this hat is actually a bit tight on me, but I like it because it's 100 years celebrating Fenway Park. My late grandmother gave me this several years back.
Garcia has been out there.
But yeah, it's a bit tight on my head. This
Pinella
is a 7.14 or 57.7 centimeters.
Strikes. He threw him out of the game. That's right.
but I
he
like
has
to
no right to call and ask him about balls and strikes.
Don't say warning.
Richie's saying, hey, you asked me about a ball and strike. You're out of the game.
Why am I getting a warning from Frick Stream? Ugh. Wait, are you fucking kidding me? Oh, for God's sakes. I credited the guy in the video. I was like, what the fuck do you want now? Alright, fine. It's like, what do you want me to do? Just, I've never had that warning before. You know, I didn't have this kind of issue the last time I was ejections. So why am I having issues now? Age restricted. Oh, God. Do you see a child around here with me, huh? There's circumvention of fuck you. Just fuck you, YouTube, and your vague warnings and all that shit. I mean, I'm pretty sure. Do not do that. I'm pretty sure Green Day Rock doesn't have the authorization to own all these videos as well, but it doesn't stop him from posting them anyways. So, what's the problem?
Hey, Piniella wanted him to come out. He says, you threw me out for that, and that's what he said. Now, we'll leave it up to you to be how creative as you want to on Piniella and
well, maybe
Garcia.
I can't go full screen on it anymore. I don't know.
Latins here, Garcia, of course, and Piniella, both Spanish. Richie Cuban descent. Pinella's Spanish. And you can see that they're going to get into it here.
Lou Piniella is Spanish? Not the accent he speaks in.
For Garcia to come out. That's the only reason he was out there. He walked all the way out to the mound, didn't say anything to Neil Allen. He was going to wait till Garcia came out there. There have been some close calls. Allen had questioned a couple of pitches simply by his gestures on the mound.
Obviously, soon as Piniella asked about balls and strikes, Garcia didn't wait a second longer.
No, he didn't. He was out there, and he just kind of leaned in and said, Lou, what are you doing out here? And Lou says, well, I was wondering about those balls and strikes you've been calling.
Out.
Top six. Luke Pote inside on Edgar Martinez, and Edgar is not happy. He gets
here he goes. Here he goes.
Dance? Here comes after him. Take another look at this one. Ball will hit Martinez on the hand, and then watch, deflects up and knocks off his helmet. He's certainly going to get a shiner out of this thing. And Martinez,
not good.
His chili is running hot. As we move on, bottom A, Joel Pinheiro, Troy Gloss, and tooth for tooth kind of a thing there.
Maybe if I lower the volume, will that help?
So Lou Piniella takes Pinheiro out of the game.
Irabu is on the hill, and there's Ruben Sierra. And that'll do it. Frank Catalanato, he can play anywhere. To A-Rod, to Palmero. Oh, wait. What's Big Lou saying?
Lou's saying he wasn't anywhere near the bag. Look at how far away from the bag is. And then Rafael Palmero looks like he took his foot off the bag.
You know, it's got to be worse than that, though.
Oh, my old skip Canna Field, and they got to see their son put on quite a show.
Proudly.
Bottom three, 2 on, 2 down, scoreless. Pinheiro walked Greg Vaughn. That loads him up, Mike.
Now you got full count on Ben Grieve. Tell you what, look at the framing job by Dan Wilson. Such a great receiver behind home plate, and Joel Pinheiro wanted that one, and I think Lou wanted that pitch as well.
Yeah, I think so.
He didn't get it.
Zone box. Look at Dan Wilson receiving it. Well, I tell you what, way too close to not swing.
Let's go to the 8th. Still 5-0 and Lou's frustration now.
He hasn't been tossed out. He's gonna get tossed out now.
Parents came to see my team win.
Yep.
Look at this. 1978.
Lou Pinella's in right field. Carl Yastrzemski, Ed Figueroa had pitched. I remember Yastrzemski doing the same thing. It was hilarious. But this is the best part.
And Dan's going, I still have
Sherlock
a picture.
will not clear off the plate for him. Your guy made the mess. You sweep it.
Yeah,
Didn't his parents tell him to clean his room when he was growing up? You make a mess, you clean your room.
Ben Davis.
Hey, Nintendo GameCube.
Mike Young.
You make a mess, you clean your room.
Ben Davis.
Yeah, it's pretty common because Seattle Mariners, I think they're owned by Nintendo, sort of. I can't remember, but I know, like, when it comes to Seattle Mariners home, like, stadium, there's usually an advertisement involving, like, a Nintendo GameCube in this case, and it's always, like, in Japanese fonts. Quite interesting. But I imagine they get quite a lot of, like, Japanese visitors to Seattle to watch these games, so maybe that might be the reason. I don't know. So anyone that has any idea why they put Japanese fonts for American type sports, please let me know.
Davis hits one up the middle. Mike Young gets the ball. Throws it to first, and Davis is called out by umpire C.B. Buckner, who will get a mouthful from Lou Pinella.
Yeah, look at him run. He's coming out.
Frustration of the second half of the season.
Look at him. He's not even phased. He's not even phased by Lou. It's like, yeah, it's like, yeah, I expected this to happen. He's not even saying a damn thing.
A top-notch.
I noticed that his legs is actually kind of shaking because he knows. Yep, leg kick up. Yeah, it's like you could definitely see his leg shaking there. So there is a sense of him being nervous because this is Lou Pinella. He's just ejected from the game. So, of course, like you're gonna.
Top-notch,
4-star,
classic,
Yeah,
4-star.
His legs are still shaking.
Lou Pinella, hissy fit. Off comes the hat and kicking dirt. You could see the grounds crew trying to keep away from Lou. They nearly swept up his hat. And so we got the hat, we got the screaming, we got the kicking into the dirt. There's only one thing remaining. That would be the tearing up of first
here we
base
go.
and the throwing of it. And we tear it up.
And oh, come on, you can toss better than
Not a good toss.
Not good enough of a toss as Buckner looks on. There we go. He got the distance, and it's been a while since we've seen this out of Lou.
We miss it.
But yeah, Lou got ejected, and Buckner looked like a while since we've seen this out of Lou.
We miss it.
But yeah, Lou got ejected.
Yeah, but you can see him smiling with confidence, but you could tell behind that smile he was definitely nervous, really nervous. If you saw his legs shaking a bit there, you'd say I think he looked confident, but in reality he wasn't. He knew he was gonna come upon it. It's all about how his chills were gonna get to him.
And Buckner looked like that throughout the entire ejection, and we'll see if this play it first.
You know, I'm surprised that they never noticed his legs shake. In fact, I didn't notice the first time I.
And it was awfully close. It looks like Lou had a point, but we don't know if he needed it.
Third, next batter, Bobby Kilty. Hi, have a welt. That's not good. Benches come out. Jeremy Davis issues a warning to both teams, and Brad Radke ignores the warning. He hits Toby Hall. He's ejected immediately. Later in the sixth, Johan Santana pitching to Marlon Anderson. You don't cross an Anderson.
Yeah, I know that.
Sometimes you do. You hit him in the back. Look.
Why didn't you give it? Why didn't you eject him?
No ejection. Bottom six near Beerbrot. He goes Sean Estes on Corey Koski.
Oh, you eject him, but he didn't hit him.
Thrown out. Beerbrot's tossed. 5 ejections in all. 4 hit batsmen.
When was Lou Pinella on the Tampa Bay?
Astros, bottom 8. Bases loaded for the D-Rays, up 8-7 after they trailed 7-0. Jeff Kent to left. Orlando Merced scores. Morgan Ensberg. See! That's my John Miller imitation. Lou goes
I know he was on Yankee. And is the Yankee.
Carl Crawford throws home. Here's the play again. Toby Hall, great job blocking the plate. Hall's glove spot shadow. Looks like Ensberg may have been out. Pinella gives home plate up. Matt Hollowell is 2 cents worth, and Lou blows a gasket. and has to be restrained. This was only a matter of time. Now we give you 4 chances here. What will Lou do? Will he, A, throw his hat, B, kick his hat, C, just cover up home plate with dirt, or heave a base? The answer is C, Lou doing what Lou does best. Astros win 11-8 after blowing a 7-0 lead. They passed the Cubs for the NL Central lead for the first time.
Top 9 game tied at 1. Rocco Baldelli against Braden Looper.
So what the hell do you think is wrong?
Sports Center strike
on the damn game.
Pitch was no Quez-Tech. Called strike 3. Lou Piniella not happy. By the way, D-Ray's shortstop Ray Ordonez could miss the remainder of the season with a torn.
Oh yeah, Florida Mariners. Right.
Tear a blood vessel here pretty soon after the Sports Center strike zone again. Shows the pitch to Aubrey Huff may have been inside, so Pinella gets tossed. Man,
imagine if he was manager managing the Red Sox.
Baltimore, Tampa Bay. Do not think, oh, what a snoozer this must be. It is on television, courtesy of Lou Piniella. The theatrics are going to come in the top of the 9th after Luis Matos
Tito's head
is called safe on that there play. There comes Piniella. And he is grab the earmuffs as Lou gets the quick heave-ho from Jerry Lane. Get out. Another look at the play. Throw now, it clearly beat Matos, but Travis Lee did go high with the tag. The call goes the O's way, and this is where we have our way with Mr. Piniella, who would not be around to see the O's tie this game at 5 in the 9th. He was busy icing his swollen leg after a 4-minute performance. He said afterwards that that hat was begging to be kicked.
Begging to be kicked.
Good. We thought it'd be swell to flashback to Pinella's top 5 tirades. At number 5, while piloting Seattle, Piniella forgets to keep his cool and remember that anger is not an argument. The dirt and the umpires had no comment. At number 4, Piniella goes purple while managing the Reds. First the hat goes, and then goes on a mission to capture home plate. Settles for kicking dirt on it, and again, the dirt. Had no comment. At number 3, back in the Great Northwest, Piniella auditions for a place-kicking job with the Seahawks. Looks
Unless they were really
or maybe a Gogolak. I think they were from Washington State. And there, he might have a job. And this right here, that's the last time that Junior smiled.
Why'd you put so much dark on?
Still in Seattle, and as Mark Twain said, when angry, count 4. When very angry, swear. And when very, very angry, slam the lid, kick the lid, and then toss the bag a couple times. At number 1 in our Lou Piniella tirades, as voted on by the fellow who cut this highlight. Back in a Reds uniform, Piniella looks like he's auditioning for the U.S. Olympic discus team with that first throw.
Don't say that. No kid's gonna know what discus is. They're not here we go.
Trying to make his way out. Hall will grab him, and the benches will empty.
Oh boy.
Well, several of the Red Sox getting in there.
Oh boy, here we go.
Pat Carter and others. Very quickly.
That's with my homeboys.
The first guy that I saw right after the pitch
was
Frank Nixon.
That's not Big Pop.
Juan Brazelton for his participation should probably go. But, you know, that's the hard thing deciding. When you get a pig pile out there like they had, it's hard to, you know, unless you've been in one of those situations, it's really hard to see what's going on in a lot of occasions. You kind of focus in on one thing, and you miss a lot. You know, so many different areas, as we saw with that brawl last year with the Yankees. Got all kinds of things going on back by the backstop.
Who's next for? Oh, Bobby. That's on his. I'll be right back. on. Okay, we're back. Bobby Cox. What does he got, like 150 something ejections on his record? Every minute, about 1 billion tons of water fall on Earth. Yeah, that's the cycle of nature.
Well, Bobby's going to get his money's worth. He's a gentleman.
Look at Joe West.
He doesn't have to explain it to anybody. That's right.
Now the runner takes off. It's a check swing. The throw. Got him. They appeal down to first. Double play. It's a strikeout as well. And they're warning the Atlanta dugout now. A helmet.
Oh, Joe.
Bobby Cox, I don't think through the helmet. One of his players.
Helmet. Oh, the helmet.
Jawing back at Joe West. Well, somebody's been tossed, and here comes Cox. It was Bobby.
Yeah, it was him that threw it.
Yep. And I think Joe West, when he looked over there, saw Lonnie Smith standing up. And we don't know yet whether he kicked out Bobby Cox.
For 5 runs in the third. In the 6th, Mets rally met at the corners. Ryan
I mean, these days, Joe West, he's retired now, but he's actually a pretty chill person to talk to.
What are you guys looking at?
So,
he gets tossed.
Top of the second, Bobby Cox
talking about his passes, like his questionable calls and such, can be a bit frustrating when he won't even admit to his wrongdoings.
He sent 12 batters to the plate in the first. Bichette up again.
This is like quite frustrating, especially for former MLB players that interview him. They try to convince him to like admit that his call was wrong at times. Like, nope.
Total adventure with McMichael pitching to Sheffield. Strike, ball.
Was Joe West the worst umpire that ever graced this earth? Hell no. That honor goes to Angel Hernandez. You wonder why no one has interviewed him since his retirement. Because good riddance.
Glavin has words with darling. Bobby Cox defends his pitcher, and he gets.
Now, I will admit, I don't know Angel Hernandez as a person, or personally. For all I know, outside of being an umpire, he could be a really nice guy. For all I know, but like I said, I don't know him. I don't know what he's doing these days, post retirement. But I know he was kind of forced out of it because of his his stupid lawsuit against MLB for like discrimination because he couldn't be part of the World Series or something like that. It's like, no, it's not discrimination. It's just that your strike zone, is just that your calls are awful. When it comes to like World Series with like making the right calls, you really want the best of the best umpires to be managing the World Series games. Angel Hernandez is nowhere even close to being best. Some like ranks like put him on the top of the list being the worst. So there are people that argue that Buckner, I think, is the worst, especially with the new rule that players can actually challenge the calls of like strike if they think that's wrong. And Buckner, I think he had quite a miserable day because he missed over 20 freaking calls. He had more than 20 calls that were overturned. So that was quite an embarrassment. Oh, this is the 1990s. I was born in 92.
Major League RBI for him.
I caught up with the 90s.
Stealing second.
Half of it through syndication.
Stolen base of the year. We'll tell you why in a moment. That is of importance. Javi Lopez doesn't like the call. Chipper Jones doesn't like the call, and he gets tossed from the game. Bobby Cox doesn't like the call. Then again, he's got a headache, so he might as well get tossed and have his Advil early. Goodbye. Goodbye.
Bye.
5, still 3-1, 1 out. Grissom on first. Keys pitches in the dirt. Girardi comes up throwing, and Grissom is called out at second.
You mean Joe Girardi of the...
That's exactly what's on Bobby Cox's mind as he comes out to argue. Cox and Grissom plead their case at second base, and Cox ends up getting tossed for the extra dialogue.
Rich, Ryan Klesko's going to laugh at this. Throw the helmet. Bang! I don't think that Bobby Cox is ever going to laugh at this.
And you're going. Oh, he threw it out left-handed.
Gone.
2 runs scored.
Not often you see umpires, players, or managers out left-handed.
Frank Pulley stepped in.
Usually it's always the right arm.
Cox, second base ump Bob Davidson. All about a block call.
Oh,
Tucker lays down the sacrifice bunt. 20-year-old Andrew Jones
Stubborn
down
ass
at
mule.
third. Bobby Cox says, "I beg to differ," or words to that effect. Or he says to the ump, "You so ugly when they took you to the zoo." The man at the front door said, "Thanks for bringing him back." Whatever he said, he tossed.
Yeah, that'll probably get you ejected.
2-0 Dodgers. A mere 2 batters later. Bases still loaded. 3-0 LA. Brett Butler robbed by Mark Lemke, but the throw is late. Run scores makes it 4-0, but we've got controversy. Bobby Cox not pleased.
Controversy.
Disagrees with umpire Brian Corbin. The replay shows that Butler was safe. Cox gets the heave-ho.
I get the heave-ho.
And you be the judge as this ball goes down the line. Fair or foul? Fair or foul? Somebody reaches out. It must be a relative of Jeffrey Mayer. They call it a fair ball and a home run.
It might be. It looks like it was foul.
The guy in the red reaches out. Looks like it should have been a foul ball call.
Yeah, that should have been a foul.
Says, how can you call that a home run? He comes out to argue and gets tossed.
What?
The Reds
That's
up
bullshit.
6-5.
4-0, and then Eisenreich at bat. White steals second.
The what?
Well, what the Braves were screaming is that there was interference with Javi Lopez, and Bobby Cox is pretty upset.
Maddox take a 3-1 lead with Delano to Shields. Maddox thought that was a strike. And had words with Tom Hallion after getting the Shields out. Then Bobby
Tom
Cox
Hallion.
had
Oh,
words for
jeez.
Hallion, and Hallion has words for Cox as in take.
Fun fact: Tom Hallion, he was the guy that you heard with like the audio with the New York Mets several years ago, where like the hot mic was leaked out to the public between Tom Hallion and Terry Collins. But you heard him say like, "You cocksucker! This is fucking bullshit."
A shower. That's nothing news for Cox and Hallion. They have a history, you know.
You
This
gotta
past
give us a
Sunday in Florida,
shot.
Hallion umping third base gave Cox the gate.
Is Gap still
arguing,
around?
And then back on May 30th.
Last time I
Cox
saw
was also
Gap, it was
ejected
like
by
at
Hamilton.
my local
These two
mall.
obviously
I
each
don't
other
know
well,
if it's
and only
there
on
anymore.
SportsCenter will you get the Cox Hallion Chronicles. Back to the game now. Cards up 3-1.
2-2, bottom of the 8th. You see Jones out in the
Ooh.
rush back from Brewski.
Brewski.
Jim knocking down Plesko, who wasn't in a good mood already, and he let Paul know about it. Plesko said, "Hey, you couldn't hear me. I had my back turned." Bobby Cox went up to stick out for him, and Paul said, "You'll
Get out of here."
the rest of this game from the clubhouse."
Martinez in, man on for Derek Jeter.
Yeah, I need to get a haircut so I can wear this hat
going to
much
second
better.
To nail Knobloch, with Joe Torre's coming out for discussion. He thinks the ball might
That
hit
tall
Jeter in the box.
umpire
So we do
is.
believe that's true. On the other look, Jeter's bunt did hit him. Tim McClellan out.
Yeah, Tim McClellan. Yeah, that's. Why do I keep? If it's a really tall, slim-looking umpire, it's definitely Tim McClellan. But you'll see him again when it comes to the ejection of Sammy Sosa, and I get if you're up on your baseball history, I think you know what that entailed.
For the help, he gets the call reversed. Cox was upset. He got tossed.
Javi Lopez is tagged.
Well,
Bottom
he should be
4-1
surprised.
Reds, runner on second for Ed Taubency. The fly ball to the left. Brett Boone tagging. Heading for third, and more controversy. John
What?
arguing the Boone slid past the bag. Smoltz sets.
Uh-oh.
Now Hunter Wendelstedt steps on Smoltz's foot. Then Wendelstedt
Oh,
ejects
get out of
Smoltz
here.
in
What?
contact with an umpire. Bobby Cox, not pleased. Cox runs out of the dugout.
You touched
He
me?
touches
Get out of here.
Wendelstedt's chest. He gets the heave-ho. Cox hanging around the dugout, still yelling at Wendelstedt. Cox finally takes off.
To the fifth, Marvin Bernard against Smoltz. The bunt toward third, Eddie Perez. Who is he throwing to?
Oh my God!
Check out the replay.
Here we go. Here we
Home
go.
plate actually should
This is
be
not
foul,
gonna be
and
good.
Bobby Cox has a case. He argues and he's gone.
Ejected from the game. On Tuesday, Odalis Perez Balk brings some squad.
You know, I kind of wish Green Day Rock kind of went for like the longer versions of these ejections, so that you have a slight bit more build up to it. But I can understand why he used like the. But I can understand why you probably use these highlights. I guess they were like readily available. And considering this was made like a couple years ago, in fact, matter of fact, 3 years ago, 2022. Okay, most clips courtesy of SW561 and Sports Odyssey. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. Oh, Angel. Stupid fuck.
His foot was set up outside
Are you
the catcher's box.
out? not a setup art. That's your biggest concern, Angel. It's like, of all the things to get concerned about baseball, that's the one you get concerned about the most.
Rays manager Bobby Cox comes out to argue. Umpires are from Mars, managers are from Venus. I feel as though his foot was okay, and you should at least validate my feelings. Not only were Cox's feelings not validated, he was ejected. And he announced the Braves would officially...
RBI. The pinch
Probably protest, but he got cut off.
hitters Gerald Williams to Tony Batista. Yeah, he couldn't get it out of his glove, then short hopped it. Here comes the play at the plate. Brian Jordan. Watch the hand, appeared to get under before the tag is made. Tim Cheetah calls Brian Jordan
Tim Cheetah?
out. Third out of the inning. He didn't agree with the call. Bobby Cox had already been booted.
Yeah, 0-2.
I like Tim Cheetah. He was actually one of the best umpires.
It's called the ball.
He wasn't taking any shit from anyone.
He would unravel, giving up 2 straight hits. He would leave with a 3-1 lead. And after pulling Smoltz, Cox says, "You missed by that much." Cox gets tossed. 2 cents worth. Please don't read lips.
Oh, I'll read as much lips as I want. Phillies manager. Oh, I know what that ejection is about. Which got Bob Davison suspended for a few games. Bobby Cox ejection in the 2000s and 2010s. Decides to load up. Yeah, it's strange. I never had any issue. Please. Okay. Yeah, I definitely gotta look into that, troubleshooting that issue of it dropping the signal. I imagine it's probably the cable I'm using is old, but because it's an old because it's one of those cables you use for printers in the past. Of course, Doug Eddings have heard enough. Wow, America Online. Man, boy, those were the days where you had dial-up and you couldn't use the internet while your parents were using the phone, hoping that they would get the hell off the phone so you can get back on the damn internet. Oh, those were the days. And yes, I did have a AOL account back then, early 2000s. Yeah, early 2000s. Yeah.
First, a balk is called here. Rick, what's the call? Well, Javi Lopez
Man, I feel
outside the box right there. This might have come from last night, though. There was a flashback here. Lopez out of the box right there. Davey Lopes arguing about that. Tells the umpire, hey, we've got to fix that. All Davey's trying to do is shake things up a little bit. Well, he shakes Bobby Cox up. He gets kicked out.
Believes it was up. 2 pitches later, Maddox does get the strikeout. After the strikeout, Bobby Cox is still a bit upset. But the terrible call, he gets into it with...
Good thing you have that mask on, don't you? And you're gone. It's an answer to him.
Then it got really silly. The two come very close together.
Cox comes up with the 4. Top 6. Braves runner on first. Chuck Smith. Squovio Veras looking. Veras didn't really like the claw. Bobby Cox comes out to choose. Wants to cuss.
Of course he doesn't like it.
Mostly he just cussed and got thrown out.
49. 6-1 Toronto.
Hey, PlayStation 2. Sweet. Oh, this is in Toronto. Okay.
2 outs, Squovio Veras. Into the corner, Wes Helms is being waited.
Which, by the way, even with the Switch exceeding sales, the PlayStation 2 still remains the highest selling game system of all time. And I don't think, I might be wrong, but I don't think the Switch is going to break that record. Because the only thing great it had going for it was it could be like a console and it could be a handheld on the go. Whereas the reason why millions and hundreds of millions of PS2s were sold was because it could play PS2 games, but it could also play PS1 games. It could play your audio CDs, and here's the real game winner. It could play DVDs, which was coming in really hot around the time in the early 2000s and such. It still remains popular to this day. Be surprised how many people will still buy DVDs. Especially those that haven't made the transition to Blu-rays or even digital copies.
Shannon Stewart
Three, how get out of here.
And then he gets thrown out. What's your call? Castillo's foot blocks the plate and kicks Helms as he slides.
I'm really irritated this hat doesn't give me like a strap, like a comedy hat size. Yeah, he's a good. No, I don't think there's enough clothes coming on.
West Helms looks high, but it's called strike three. It's 2 outs. Bobby Cox doesn't like the call. Home plate ump John Wolf says go shower.
Go shower.
Cox comes out to plead his case anyway. It's the 7th time Cox has been ejected this year, all on the road, and I'm thinking perhaps anger management.
All on the road.
I don't want to Foster. Next inning, Eric Karros, the 1-2 count. He takes what they call a ball. Karros ended up getting a hit, and Chipper and Bobby Cox got into it. You know,
DBS. Oh boy, those
are. Gets out there, and they ask him to leave. Threw Chipper out too. There was still a Jones left.
Done with great plays.
I swear, every time I see these like retro like plays and such, and they show these old like advertisements in the back, and I recognize them, he feels goddamn old.
Another look at the replay. It was a close play. What do you think? Bobby Cox comes out, argues. We know that about Bobby Cox. Phillies get out of the inning still tied.
Last to first. Will Randy Wolf get another win?
Ooh, probably not.
Walk. Not to be. And Bobby Cox says, you got to be kidding me. So ball 4 here, and Bobby says, now you got it right.
Oh boy. Yeah, I hear you.
What did he say? You don't often see a manager get thrown out after one of his own players walks.
That's brutal. Now here, bottom of the 5th, Maddox thought he had a strike to Millar, called a ball. Tim Cheetah behind the plate. Bobby Cox.
Tim Cheetah.
Talking to him, then top of the 6th,
What?
strike on
I think
Andrew
this is
Jones.
it.
More now, let's listen in.
That's it, Bobby. Get out of here.
Now let's listen in.
That's it, Bobby. Get out of here.
That's the line of the night. That's it, Bobby. Get out. You can hear everything. There's nobody there.
2 balls, 2 strikes. Oh man,
Oh.
Johnny Estrada just
Did he say fuck you?
2 balls, 2 strikes.
Oh.
Man, Johnny Estrada.
I want to go back to that line. That's it, Bobby. Get out of here.
Him, then top of the 6th, strike on Andrew Jones. More now. Let's listen in.
That's it, Bobby. Get out of here. Way to go, Tim.
Bobby, get out. You can hear everything. There's nobody there.
2 balls, 2 strikes.
Fuck. Oh, he just told fuck you.
Just got thrown out of the game. And I don't know what Edding said to start this. But
Well, you did hear him say fuck you.
And Johnny, as you heard, snapped. I don't know who he threw out there. I guess Bobby Cox.
Just because you're the catcher playing in the game, that doesn't necessarily mean you're exempt from being tossed out, as is shown.
Saves him a suspension.
Maybe. He might have. Bobby was very upset about last night's loss, more so than he normally is.
And a 2-2 pitch on the way. Strike 3 called. Inside corner at the knees.
Ooh,
Chipper
boy.
Jones fires the bat all the way over to the Braves dugout. And there.
All right, Bobby. He's gonna laugh.
Ted Barrett threw him out of the game, and that makes Bobby Cox the all-time record.
Oh, that's it, Bobby. Get out of here, line.
Now he has been ejected from
Oh,
the
yeah.
Major League ball game.
Watching you. Ooh, Boston.
Very close. That is ball 1, 1 and 2. Drew to left field.
Yep, it's off the wall.
Off the wall. Gutierrez is going to try and score. Throw goes to second. He will, and the Red Sox take a 5-4 lead.
God damn. Bobby's not happy.
He's upset about the pitch before. Wow. I think if Flaherty got tossed, and now Cox has been tossed. Chipper Jones going to get tossed soon, too.
Yeah, he's gonna get tossed.
This has happened very quickly, and you can understand the Flaherty, and more guys are getting tossed. Chipper's
Yep.
gone, too. Coaches coming from everywhere.
He's not even gonna answer it either. Because, oh, but he lets Bobby Cox's words. Not Jones.
Time called, and here we go.
Uh-oh.
Conversation continues.
Oh, there's an extension of that. I'm out. Uh-oh.
And here we go. The conversation continues.
So the context of that was, you see him right there. I don't.
Continues.
he was up at bat prior to this happening, and when the calls didn't go his way because he thought that they were like just slightly outside the strike zone, striked out, and when that play came up, he shouted at him, "You're terrible." I think it was Tim Timmons. That's his name, the umpire. He shouted at Tim saying, "You're terrible." And that's what prompted Tim to say, "Timeout." Yes, he was quite arguing at him while he was on the plate.
And again, we told you this goes back to an incident in Boston.
Oh, yeah, we just saw that part with Boston.
You know you've been around a while when you get kicked out of a game on the road, and when you go out there and argue the umpire, everybody's cheering you. And that's out of respect. He can get his money's worth right now.
Yeah, Bobby, get your money's worth. Get your money's worth. Yeah, good. Yeah, it's usually like the most seasoned veterans that of umpires that will
McCann's asking.
Just as hot as are.
Yeah, it just did get by him.
And now Bobby Cox has been thrown out of the game for yelling at Ron Kulpa, who had his head in the dugout earlier in the inning.
I think he enjoys throwing out Bobby Cox because he's thrown him out quite a bit, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Little touchy. Johnny Venter's in for Atlanta, and he throws this one over the head of Prince Fielder. The umpire warning Venters.
Oh, God.
Comes back with the next pitch and just drills Fielder in the back, and that'll be it. Venters tossed from the game.
That must have missed outside. Bill Hahn with the balls and strikes, hearing it from the Braves dugout. Hahn with the mask off, couple of steps over toward the dugout. Doesn't want to hear it. And somebody just got thrown out of the ball game.
More than a 3-run homer. It's a starting pitcher going out there and putting up a 0.
Great play made by Uribe. The throw to first in time, and Huff keeping his foot on the bag, and Uribe recovering in a hurry to make the throw. And Gonzalez with a few words for Paul Emmel, the first base umpire, and Bobby Cox now is out to talk to Emmel, who was the umpire at second last night on that stolen base.
Oh boy.
Play that we
definitely have an irritation with it.
Huff's foot as he crossed the bag down there at first base.
And Bobby Cox has been ejected yet again.
Yet again.
As he follows Paul Emmel down the line, and then last night it was Buster Posey, who even admitted that he was tagged out by Brooks Conrad at second.
What would be the? Oh, still more Bobby Cox. Because being thrown out 150 plus times, bound to be a lot more cost. There is. Oh, this is really old.
Helmet thrown, another helmet. That's 2. And he is still hot. And there were probably been a few more helmets.
I can't tell what team managing at the time because the quality is just like not that good. Larry McCoy.
Look at Brakeman stolen up from the other side.
He's not going to leave.
You know, if they want to, they could give the Yankees this ball game for Bobby not leaving.
Yeah, they could. Or they could call security to force him to leave.
All he's got to do is go up the runway anyway and continue to manage.
Yeah, those times you can just use a phone to call up your acting, continue managing while on the phone. I mean, that's what what is it now? Bit rate. Oh, jeez. Freaking bit rate. Yeah, like I said, that's what Baltimore's legendary manager Earl Weaver did, because when he got ejected 90 times, all from phone to managing point, which I don't think you do these.
Here's the throw by Marquise Grissom. Treadway in there safely. Gant moves to third. Let's see if that was a strike three.
Look at the clothes on these.
All that doesn't count. And credit Tim Wallach with picking that up. I don't know if Fitzgerald was aware of it or not. Now Bobby Cox is going to come out and argue. And I think he's been ejected from the game because I don't think a manager is allowed to come out and argue on a third strike. So for the second straight day, Bobby Cox, I believe, is going to take an early shower.
Look at that swing. Look at that, like, look at that wind up. Yeah. There we go. Oh, don't tell me that is
so Dykstra's first time,
the home plate umpire, Eric,
is all for called strikes, and this time he doesn't get any borderline pitches, all for called balls. And Avery now has a word for Larry Vanover, and Bobby Cox is going to come out and try to settle down his young left-hander.
And get a word in to Larry Vanover. Better not get too many words in. You're not allowed to argue balls and strikes.
Where does he say, Phil, about
out of here? Gone.
One of these days you can actually challenge it with the time given by doing this. And umpires, if they are able to do it in that particular amount of time frame, the umpires cannot turn that, not decline it anymore. They have to give the same exact strike zone. Nobody wants them to. Fair.
Starter for Atlanta had at least a hit. Now,
I imagine Union,
but he's awarded first base.
the umpire union, too powerful.
Does it hit him?
Church of Scientology, although the Church of Scientology isn't a religion, it's an organized crime syndicate. But that's a discussion for another time. But anyways,
Bobby Cox is a short fuse and a salty tongue, and now he gets to watch the game from somewhere other than the bench. You're not there. Get out real quick before they change their mind.
He gave his tongue some sugar. Would it be a sweet tongue?
Thinks maybe that's a little high. Oh, Cox also doesn't agree. In fact, Bobby's so mad he could spit. Of course, to spit, you got to get out to the tobacco. He's mad at Angel Hernandez.
So mad he can spit. Oh, yeah, Angel Hernandez. Of course it is. You can tell what Angel looks like from a distance because of his curved nose and all that.
Jones thinking about it, you know. He's going to go out there. Benches will clear. Oka tossed immediately. Jones would not return. A bruise around his ear and his cheek. You can listen up.
Ooh.
Man. It caught mostly the helmet and the ear flap. Now, you have to protect this man. Chris Hammond comes back, hits Brad Wilkerson, the rookie. Hammond gets tossed.
And gone.
So immediately, you get one for the other.
37 degrees. Gary Sheffield facing Randy Wolf. Top 5, 3-2 pitch. Kerwin Danley rings him up. Then when he argues, throws him out. And then Bobby Cox, you go away too. Larry Boa serving a 1-game suspension for misbehaving during spring training. That's all season. 1 earned in his last 14. And Maddox, hey, we're going K-zone. That's called a ball. And Greg says something smells bad in here. Change-up called the ball. He walks Luis Gonzalez.
Wow.
He wanted the...
Okay, so if the ball touches the line of the strike zone, it's considered to be a strike. Well, sometimes some umpires will just call it a ball, even though like on the very edge or touching the line. So it's really bizarre. Though with the new rule system in place this year, I doubt you're gonna have that much room for error for anything anymore. Now that you have to call the exact same strike zone.
corner, so he blows something. A gasket, perhaps? Tony Randazzo.
Which is a good thing, because if you ever looked at the strike zones of terrible people like Angel Hernandez and Eric Gregg, I think his name was? Yeah. Because there's one particular game where Eric Gregg, he would call strikes on throws that were clearly balls, way far away from the strike zone line. Anyways, I think someone made a video about that particular play already. I don't know the name of his channel, but he went into more depth about it. So be sure to check that out if you find that recommendations. I did.
Feel, Tony. And then Bobby Cox says, "Yeah, I smell it too."
Yeah, I smell it too.
Adam Dunn, Maddox. And then a gasket, perhaps? Tony Randazzo. That's how I feel, Tony. And then Bobby Cox says, "Yeah, I smell it too."
Yeah, I smell it too.
To Adam Dunn, Maddox thinks he's got strike 3. Bill Welke says it's a ball. Maddox doesn't like it. Bobby Cox doesn't either. And Welke runs Bobby. And Bobby runs out to step on home plate. Said it hit right there.
Really? You're not going to toss dirt on it? That's disappointing, Bobby.
He is walked by Mike Hampton, and you see how close that is? Bobby Cox.
Well, okay, that should have been considered a strike.
2 batters later to a tie at 3, Ken Griffey Jr.
Oh, Griffey Jr.
In the box, Hampton walks him. That loaded the bases. Bobby Cox comes out to get Hampton, who walked 3 and threw 34 pitches in the inning. Cox is ejected for the 5th time this season, 2nd game in a row, and happy birthday, Bobby! You're 62.
Oh, it's a birthday.
Strikes out. At least that's what Marty Foster says.
He's not the first. He's not the only manager to get ejected from a game on his birthday.
Some home cooking. We've lost 7 of 11, and gets it from Field and Colbreth, who says, "Let's take another look," because I do believe that Bell is telling the truth, and you can see that he was. And so Bobby Cox comes out and says, "Hey, what's up?" And Colbreth says, "Well, you're out." 6th time this season that Cox has been showing the shower.
Top 3 scoreless runner on first. Mike Hampton will pick off Henry Mateo at
Oh,
second.
Montreal
Hampton is called for a
team.
balk.
I don't think. Yeah, that's not like. I don't think that really.
You know, Bobby's like a prosecuting DA. He argues all the time. Watch it again. Hampton's foot supposed to go to first. You be the judge. Home plate umpire Phil Cuzzy calls balk. Cox goes back to the dugout. What, isn't he supposed to get, like, tossed? He's Bobby Cox. Same at bat.
Yeah, the Montreal.
Shot to short for call can't handle. Mateo scores. Oh, Bobby. Oh, Bobby. Here comes Bobby Cox. Gone. There you go. For the 7th time this year.
In Colorado, where the Rockies just finished sweeping the Marlins. All very neat and clean, but as you can imagine, the folks in Atlanta are hot.
That's a. Don't. Something related in Colorado. I don't want to use my voice. No. Oh, so it's a jewelry store in Colorado.
Gary Sheffield rung up, and then a couple of words, and you're gone. Well, naturally, Bobby Cox, he's going to come out and get an early tee time. He's run for the 8th time this season. That guy, he gets thrown out about half the time.
Facing Brett Myers, Mike Lieberthal. Lieberthal's going to catch Marcus Giles stealing 3rd, but Giles has an argument with umpire Chuck Merriweather, and he's not the only guy coming out to argue. Here comes Bobby Cox. Cox?
You think happens to him?
Take another look. Does Cox have a point?
Behind his back.
The play very close at 3rd. You know, this is the 9th ejection for Bobby Cox this season. 6 of his 9 ejections coming in the first 3 innings. 5 of his 9 ejections coming in Maddox's starts.
It would come within like 6 and 7.
At strike 3. Giles didn't like the call, argued with the home plate ump. He got run. You're going to lose that argument every time. Then Bobby Cox comes out to argue. This man gets tossed more than the rosin bag.
He gets salty.
Bag.
Bottom 5, White Sox up 8-1. Willie Harris batting. Questionable call there on ball 4. Bobby Cox at least doesn't look pleased, and then he's going to get really upset and
Greg Gibson says, "You're gone." So was Juan Uribe. Who cares? Sox win at 10-3. Cox ejected.
And the White Sox increase their lead. Oh,
my God, what is this?
Law is thrown out. Dan Pascal rifles the
Oh,
ball
Tony
to
La
the
Russa.
plate, and he cuts Law down to retire the side. Tony La Russa,
He's gone.
can believe it. He's been thrown out of the ball game. Oh, La Russa.
Always been with the St. Louis Cardinals, I think.
Oh, Tony La Russa came flying out of the dugout.
Yeah, you'll have to excuse like the audio quality because I think there was like the set. It wasn't the greatest quality back then.
During the break between innings, arguing with home plate umpire Mark Johnson.
Definitely. Look at that. Look at that.
Hey, give us what you're giving them. You're calling curveballs for Mitchell, calling for Welch.
David Letterman.
The frustrations would take their toll on La Russa as he would get ejected in the 5th inning by plate umpire Tim Welke for arguing balls and strikes, but just as well.
Fireworks began on the 4th. Melito Perez to Scott Brocious, high and tight. La Russa didn't like it. He would come out to complain about it. You know he's upset when he tosses down the expensive sunglasses. Showalter come out to Melito Perez to Scott Brocious, high and tight. La Russa didn't like it. He would come out to complain about it. You know he's upset when he tosses down the expensive sunglasses.
Yeah, those glasses looked really expensive.
He would come out to complain about it. You know he's upset when he tosses down the expensive sunglasses. Showalter comes out and tells the umpires, "Don't you talk to him." And then Showalter and La Russa get face to face and almost go at it.
Oh boy.
The players do go at it, and Frank Howard is caught in the middle of this brouhaha. Both managers ejected.
Imagine spending like more, like over $100 so on aviator sunglasses, and just like getting just tossing
out of the game. Tony La Russa comes out and argued for quite some time, and then Phil Garner came out. And then everybody came out.
Ooh, okay. Here's
Roy Neal goes after Dickie Thon. Watch the lower left. Tommy Reynolds connecting with Brewers coach Tim Foley. The big hit as Edwin Nunez takes a punch at B.J. Servo. And then Mark McGuire has to be restrained. A 25-minute delay, and the end result, a bloody face for B.J.
In the ninth. Eric Gregg is not happy.
Yep, Eric Gregg.
Good mother. Tony La Russa arguing balls and strikes, and then La Russa's going.
God, look at how much his ass sticks out. That's not normal. I mean, I know he had kind of like a weight issue at the time, but still, just can't help but notice.
To come out and discuss some issues.
But then again, that's probably what happens when you tighten the belt too much. Tighten it too much. Oh, but a bit.
He has an issue with this. Padres beat his Cardinals.
For the year, 3-0 Phils. Bottom 8, Cards trailing 3-2. Mark McGuire up there, 1 on, 2 outs. Cannot repeat his Friday magic as Ricky Botello gets him looking. And we've got controversy. Tony La Russa argues the call, and Eric Gregg gives him the heave-ho.
Heave-ho.
Casey at the bait. La Russa argues the magic is trailing 3-2. Mark McGuire up there. And we've got controversy. Tony La Russa argues the call, and Eric Gregg gives him the heave-ho.
Away Sean Casey at the
Of course
bait.
it's Eric.
One thing the Cardinals have not done is turn routine double plays the last 2 days. Joe West correctly rules that Polanco didn't have his foot on the base, but
right.
A run scores, and Tony La Russa is going to get upset.
Top of the 8th, 6-1 Reds, John Hudick.
1-2 for the homer.
We'll say, Joe.
Top of the 8th, 6-1 Reds.
Those are some ridiculous. Probably wait.
John Hudick.
1-2 for the homers against Tom Glavine. Maybe a ball. McGuire thought so. But the rookie up, Sam Holbrook rings him up. Max hot. Tony La Russa comes out to argue. Now, La Russa was complimentary about this thump just the other day. This time he's tossed. La Russa's excused. McGuire's disputatious. He's also out of the game. And then he uses his strength on Rene Latchman in an attempt to get near Holbrook. Latchman He finally calmed down, and McGuire escorted him off the field. They're so cute at this age. Now judge for yourself on whether it was a ball or whether it was a strike. Ray, go ahead and make your comments here. Watch it.
Well, from this view, it certainly looks down, and I know that they call the front of the plate as a strike.
Watch
when
the
you
other
see,
angle now.
Right, and at this angle, you see it cut just below the front part of his knee. McGuire, I think, has as good an eye as anybody in baseball. He and Barry Bonds. It was a borderline pitch.
Yeah. The fans were throwing things on the field. Fortunately, it wasn't nuclear weapon giveaway day. Lots of stuff thrown onto the field. The game had to be held up in the second inning.
Well, yeah, that's what toss out a very popular Barry Bonds. Maybe Cabrera, but yeah, that's what would happen. Because fans watch their play, come to check them. They do, then, well, this is what the umpires have to expect. So I don't know what they were expecting. But it could have been worse. Like, it could have been much crazier back in like in the 70s, where fans in the crowd were allowed to like storm the field and such, and footage were worse hell because all hell broke loose. Crowd nuts. If anyone can tell me what that game was, text.
It was kind of a mess, and as the game did end, Cardinal fans let Holbrook know that they're not going to forgive. They won't forget. That sign, of course, referring to the St. Louis, Kansas City World Series call, which apparently didn't go in St. Louis's way.
Facing Bergman, home plate ump Sam Holbrook calls it a strike, and here's it from Mabry, and apparently Tony La Russa, because Tony got tossed. Now, these two have a history. Who could forget the scene in St. Louis August 29th when Holbrook tossed McGuire and La Russa? An interesting couple of weeks for Holbrook last Wednesday.
Get out of here.
Julian Tavares goes bananas on Holbrook.
He has an RBI in 7 straight games. Bottom 8, 5-2.
Well, McGuire hit it out of the park.
For McGuire, strikes opposed.
Ooh.
Didn't like the call. Neither did Tony La Russa. He would get tossed arguing it.
Top 7. Kyle.
That's
a
balk.
The go-ahead run is balked in. It's 6-5. Tony La Russa. He would like to argue this call. And you know a man is serious when he's willing to sacrifice the Oakleys. And Brewers up 7-3. Bottom 8, Alan Bennett's facing David Weathers, and that's ball 4. Take your base. Dave Duncan not happy about that. Now flip it around. Weathers facing Jim Edmonds. A 1 pitch, and he gets a strike there. Weathers. It's a right hand, and now Tony La Russa, he decides pitcher from just foul to definitely foul. Morris hits Jenkins, and Jenkins has some words. These two teams, they threw at each other a bunch last week. Players finally pour out of the benches, presumably not to dance. Jeremy Burnett's had a hat, and then Bobby Bonilla knocks it away. Chris Pronger, the Blues.
Chris Pronger. Yeah, I'm not like into like the hockey scene, but I imagine he
Captain was there, and of course, well, and then Bobby Bonilla knocks it away. Chris Pronger, the Blues captain, was there, and of course, well, he had a pop and a lady, and so although experience not really available in this kind of a situation, Pronger, though, did enjoy the day. It's not really available in this kind of a situation. Pronger, though, did enjoy the day, and so although experience not really captain was there, and of course,
what's his last name?
He had Bonilla knocks it away. Chris Pronger, the
I like that he has his shirt off. What? What player is? God, I don't know his name.
Jeremy not to dance. Jeremy Burnitz had a hat, and then Bobby Bonilla knocks it away. Chris Pronger, the Blues captain, was there, and of course, well, he had a Bonilla knocks it away. Chris Pronger, the
I hope I spelled that last. So Demtra, I looked it up. It's the Slovakian player, passed away not too long ago. Oh, Chris Progner. Okay. Think? Yeah, at that time he was playing for the St. Louis.
Blues not to dance. Jeremy Burnitz had a hat, and then Bobby Bonilla knocks it away. Chris Pronger, the Blues captain, was there, and of course, well, he had a pop and a lady, and so although experience not really available in this kind of a situation, Pronger, though, did enjoy the day.
I was getting all excited when I saw the benches clear. I thought we were going to have a hockey game.
The other, and then skate on. McGuire, he's got to hold Jenkins back. Tony La Russa, he's also going to need to be held back because he starts John with Bernie Brewer. And if you watch here, well, don't watch too close because we're going to lose our PG-13 rating. Burnitz, Benil, La Russa, all ejected,
you didn't even have a PG.
And ejected. Matt
PG-13.
Morris hurling. David Bell looking. Oh, boy. West calls the ball. Morris would like to discuss the strike zone right now.
No, that's high. The other one's low.
All right.
Yep.
We straight high, low, knees, shoulders, whatever. Mike D. Felice. Swing. What do we got? We're checking it first. No, West. There we go.
Oh,
hey,
he's calling out.
Could be raining. Morris, the next batter. He and Wes, they're talking. Apparently, he's not talking very loud, but Wes could hear him through that mask he was wearing. He wasn't happy. Tony La Russa comes out. Now we're going to talk.
Oh boy, Joe West.
About the strike zone. When you start talking about the strike zone, eventually somebody gets run.
You know this guy. You know this guy ejected 2 cameramen in one game. All because they were allegedly showing one of the managers a replay of his call.
Dan Iasonia says, "See you, Timlin." Tony La Russa will follow him to the showers. Separate stalls. La Russa later blamed the league. Not the umps.
Go by Macias, and after the inning, Klein, we're pointing at him, has to be restrained by teammates. He's pitching a fit, not happy with the ump, or apparently somebody tried to clean his hat, and that just will not do.
Okay.
So is finding the strike zone. And Tino Martinez apparently did not like getting plunked in the 5th inning.
Oh. Hopefully, I think I play. Watching it. Appreciate it.